Hi guys, welcome back. And today it is cold in North Carolina. What? You know what? Whenever the weather gets really cold like this, it always makes me want soup. And today, I want a good old comfort standby. Broccoli and cheddar. Yes! And you know what? We always think this kind of soup is so hard to make, but really it's not. And we're gonna jump right into it because I'm gonna show you how easy it is. So we're gonna start our roux, you guys. And if you have not seen how to make a roux, check out that dedicated video for that, you guys. We'll link that below for you, okay? All right, so we've got a couple of tablespoons of butter in our big old stock pot. Well, it's our medium-sized stock pot. I need a great big stock pot. I need one. All right, so that is getting good and melty. And then into that is going to go 4 tablespoons of our King Arthur all-purpose flour. And you might ask yourself, ask me, why am I using King Arthur? Well, no, I'm not sponsored by them yet. But I really like the King Arthur flours because they are unbleached and unbromated. And if you want to look up what is bromation, first of all, a little scary, but anyway, it's not good for us. It's not good for our bodies. All right, so we're going to get that roux going. Okay, and this is what it's looking like so far. We're getting a nice caramelized note on that already. And in goes our 1 cube of chicken bouillon. Now, I'm going to break that down. And the reason that I have done that is because that's going to give us that depth of flavor that we're looking for in our soup without thinning it down with chicken stock. All right, now, our roux is nice and dark, taking on all that caramely flavor that we want. And then in goes our milk. And you guys, this recipe goes really fast, believe it or not. It does not take hours and hours on the stove. We want to whisk that down so that we get that mixture as lump-free as we can. Okay, now at that point, once it starts getting thick, you're going to go ahead and add the rest of your milk. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and pump that heat back up. And because this recipe goes really quick, you're just going to stay right there. Now, because I have a very big family, and we usually do family dinners a couple of times a week, where we're kind of all gathered in. Usually when I'm making a recipe, I'm making a lot. So, if you guys are just making this for a couple of people, just cut it in half. Just cut everything in half. You'll be grand. You'll be grand. And once again, I know you're wondering, she's using milk from a box. Yes, I am. I love this. This shelf stable. It's shelf stable. I use it as a go. Great. Fantastic. All right, this is getting nice and hot. Perfect. We can see the steam rising off the top. So, almost to the place of turning this down and adding the rest of our stuff. And what's this been, like 5 minutes? I mean, like 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and add our carrot into here. Okay, so we've got our carrot in there, which was shredded. All right, and we're going to begin to lower our temp now. We don't need for this to boil like a chicken soup or something like that where we need it to boil. So we're going to turn this down a little bit. And while that carrot is continuing to cook in there, we're going to add our broccoli. Another quickie on this, guys, and you can use frozen broccoli, chopped frozen broccoli that's already cooked, or steam it off in the microwave, I guess. I used fresh, and I chopped it small like that, you can see, and I steamed it. So we're keeping all those nutrients in that broccoli. And what I used, guys, was a couple of large broccoli crowns is what I used in there. Chopped it and cut it small, and then just steamed it till it was nice and tender. And on this one, normally when I have broccoli, I like it just fork tender. But for this application, you want to cook it down really good so it's nice and soft, right? And make sure you get your pieces small enough so that when you pick up a spoon of soup, you don't have a big old glump of broccoli right there. At this point, you can go ahead and check for your seasonings. Usually a little bit of salt and pepper is needed. All right, put up to my testing spoon. Ooh, that's just about right on the money. All right, we are going to need about an additional teaspoon of salt. And when, you guys, I have learned the hard way. Oh my word, have I learned the hard way. When I am working with bouillons, because I don't do that all the time, I have learned to be really careful about adding salt before I taste what is going to be the finished product. Because that bouillon sometimes just adds a lot of sodium to the recipe. So you do want to be a little bit careful about that. So, I have learned, most of the time I remember, most of the time, I have learned to check those seasonings before adding additional salt. Now, I want to have a little bit of pepper. And I did put this in the recipe, you guys, you know, to taste on this. About 1/4 teaspoon, unless you don't like pepper at all. I like to have a little bit of pepper and stuff like this. And I'm using the fine ground because that, once again, just like that chicken flavor and that roux that we cooked down so good, it really pulls down that flavor and anchors those base flavor notes for you. And you can see our soup is getting thick and lovely. Oh, so wonderful. All right, we're gonna check our seasonings one more time just to make sure that I got enough salt for most everybody. Oh, I think that's about right. I think for most people at the table, that'll be on it. Now, the very last thing, once this gets to the thickness that we're looking for, and for a soup, we're just about there. The final thing will be to add the cheese. And remember that that is also going to thicken this up just a little bit. And we're going for about 2 cups of shredded cheese. I like the Sharpe cheddar and stuff like this, so I'm doing the Sharpe cheddar finely shredded. Sharpe cheddar. And then we're going to just stir that right in, guys. Bring that off the burner until we're ready to serve. And this should make about 8 servings, 6 to 8. It depends. If you're using this like with a grilled sandwich or some other kind of entree, then probably 6 to 8 servings. If you're using it just for something else, then I would say you're going to have 8 to 10 servings on this. Okay, haha. It has thickened up beautifully, and time for a taste test. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Oh man, it's creamy, and all those flavors of the broccoli and that depth, you know, that we were looking for in that stock, in the base, it is all there, you guys. Oh my goodness sakes. But it's not that, you know, when you eat, sometimes you eat those creamy based soups and you're like, ooh, my word, I'm blowing my diet for an entire month. Now, not with this, because remember we used that 1% milk and we got the flavor from the chicken bouillon instead of adding additional fat and all of that. Oh, you guys, this is really good. That's the cold weather remedy right there, and comfort food at its best. And by the way, if you are doing Weight Watchers, this is how many points, Linz?
7.
A serving, 7 points a serving. If you're doing the Weight Watchers. And you guys, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. That's really helping us out. And we'd love to hear from you as well. So if you try this and you tweak it in a certain way, maybe you add a little heat to it. Yum. You know I'm here for that. Let me know how it turned out for you, seriously. And we'll see you next time on Things Tina Does.